All right, welcome back, everybody, for episode number 32 of the Dark Figures podcast. I'm your co-host, Ryan. This is my co-host, Robert. Say hello, Robert.
Hi, co-host Robert.
Oh, so sweet of you to actually,
I know.
that one this time.
Yeah, this one I got it this time.
Well, we want to give a shout out to everybody who has liked, subscribed, and followed our channel. We want to thank you very much for continuing to do so. And if you haven't yet, hit that like, hit that follow, that subscribe button. And I hope you will want to something new. But without further ado, we have our guests here this week. We want to welcome Mark and Dizzle from Ghost Lives Matter. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Thanks for having
Pretty
us.
good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Ghost Lives Matter. If you were to describe your guys' band to somebody, how would you explain it?
Probably like modern progressive metal.
Just kind of a hodgepodge of stuff going on.
Yeah,
melting pot of
a little,
everything.
That's
a
awesome.
little bit, a lot of metal influences.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You guys have the same influences, or
Well, so like, what got me into music? So, growing up, I have a traditional Mexican family, so all I listened to was mariachi music.
Yeah.
At the beginning, and then my brother kind of introduced me to like rap music.
Oh,
So,
okay.
In the early 2000s, I was DMX, Cisco,
Yeah.
freaking Thong
I
Song,
know.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still listen to that every once in a while.
Right.
Yep.
And I remember one day I was like, I think the Thong Song music video just ended, and Headbanger's Ball kicked in.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the first song was Chop Suey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That changed my whole life. And after that, I sold my brother guitar,
Yeah.
and then I was kind of like just stuck on System of a Down all of the remainder of my high school year.
Yeah.
And I joined the Marine Corps, and when I got to Iraq, this guy was like, "Bro, here's this flash drive," and I had Nile and Al Sean Parrish and
Oh yeah.
like all these different bands, and that wrecked me too. Like it changed my whole life again.
Yeah.
And so like right now, I listen to a lot of Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of System, a lot of a Trivium, like Nile, Meshuggah. I was really heavily into Periphery, and I got him into Periphery.
Oh yeah.
And I kind of started slowing down on that, and like I'm basically listening to the same stuff I was listening to in 2012 and trying to figure it all out. Like I recently just got into Veil of Maya like this last year.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Yeah. Dude, they've been around for a hot minute.
Yeah, and I didn't know
those
about
guys
them.
Are great.
They had a lot of changes in their music. Though,
They
too.
did. They
Yeah.
and a lot of vocal changes,
Yep.
a lot of key changes.
Yeah,
Like, those
yeah.
guys are phenomenal.
Right.
Right.
I
That's the
would've
reason
killed
I
to see them.
started tuning to Drop B.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Getting low.
Letting
You
the
playing
strings fall
7?
off.
We do half 6, half 7.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You kind of divvy it up a little bit, just
We got
depending on the
3
groove.
songs that are 6-string, 3 songs that are 7-string.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that ever something that you think about, like, God damn it, if I could just have it into one guitar? Or do you like having the variety? Kind of, you're like, I have all these guitars, might as well start using
it's
more
kind
of
of a
them.
bitch on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But we just we have like an interlude
Yeah.
that we turn on.
Give you a chance to kind of, he does some talking, or there's something going on in the background.
I mean, I kind of like the guitar changes because to me, the stage, the chaos of the stage,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is like the closest thing to like what I had in the Marine Corps. So
Oh,
as soon as we start changing, I'm like looking around. Like there was
What's going
once, I think it was Ghost Lives when a string broke and you didn't notice, and I reached over for the spare guitar and handed it to him and switched it just on the fly.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like so I love the chaos of the
Yeah.
stage, right? Sometimes like, the audience, they get a bad show because like either the sound guy's off or whatever the hell.
Right.
When I'm on stage, I'm just
Yeah.
in my own place, happy as a bird.
Yep. But it also when you think about the instrument that you play, like especially for you playing guitar, like that's also kind of like you can show your personality, like based on the guitar that you purchase, right? Because when you think of like Tom Morello,
Hey, Tom Modelo.
Tom Morello from Rage, and it's like he's got that iconic guitar with all the stickers, and it's beat to shit, and it's
Right.
like, but when you see that guitar, you know whose guitar it is, right?
Well, just hearing how he plays, though,
Well,
too, it's
and
the
that-
same way.
it-
Like he
it
has
goes
a certain
along with it.
style. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know it's him.
But it goes along with the character of
Right.
who Tom is. So like when you see someone play a guitar or like a Dean, you're like, oh God, Dimebag, right?
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's like it's that iconic visual that also kind of goes along with who you are as a musician too.
Right. Hey, a lot of people take the Iceman, the Ivan is Iceman, to what's his name? The guy from Kiss. I think it's Stanley. Stanley.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Paul Stanley.
Paul Stanley.
yeah.
But I see Darren Malenkin from System of a Down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
what Dean's too. I think was it Dave Mustaine? I think he's done Dean too.
Is he?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just doesn't have the flying V.
I never
Yeah.
get that close to seeing David Saint to know what he's playing.
I only saw him once actually here. That was a good show.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I
the
think
Lamb of God.
Scott would have been one to
Yeah.
give that one to.
He'll pick
I was
that,
like,
yeah.
Scott's like, I've seen him like 12 times, like in a dungeon
Yeah,
somewhere.
he saw when he didn't have such a raspy normal voice.
Yeah. He just left Metallica, you know. We were hanging out.
Grandpa Scott there.
Yeah. He's gonna love that.
I saw that show though at the Reno events.
Yeah.
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 For the Endgame tour. Or something.
Yeah.
It's actually a good album. For
Yeah.
one of
No,
the
it was.
earlier-
It was pretty good, yeah.
Later albums.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and especially like what they're putting out now, you wouldn't think that they would be as thrashy as it is. And I think their new album is just like, holy shit, it's like they went back in time.
I thought it was good.
I think it sounds really
I think he
good.
did great on the new album.
Yeah.
He did go back to his thrash roots and not like dumb it down to where it's like, oh, I'm gonna put a bunch of radio
Right,
hits
right,
out
right.
there.
What do you guys think of the new Metallica?
I mean, I haven't listened to it.
honestly.
Yeah.
No, haven't given it the time of day yet.
I only heard that single.
Yeah,
That's
the
only thing.
single.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Right now, it's just that.
Yeah.
It's better than like Load.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of albums are great.
Saint Anger.
Saint Anger.
Yeah. I was a late bloomer. Like my whole family being all mariachis. I didn't get into Metallica until Saint Anger.
Oh, really?
Hey.
So the first song, I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
And then, and then like over years, like relearning metal history or learning metal history, and then hearing the old stuff, I was like, oh.
Never mind.
You never. You didn't hear the Black album first.
No, like the
Wow.
closest thing to rock or metal I had pre me finding System of a Down was my brother had Rage Against the Machine, the first album.
Yeah.
I stole it from him. My mom was so conservative that she would pick the music.
Uh-huh.
It was the Now discs.
Oh,
Yeah,
now that's
yeah,
what I call
yeah,
music.
Right, right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
used to hide.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I used to hide my brother. I steal my brother's CDs and I would hide them in the Now albums.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
what I did. And so it was Rage first, and then System of a Down. And like System of a Down is what really got me into rock and to metal, playing
Yeah.
guitar. Like Rage was great, but I was just like, I like this. I'll listen to it. System made me steal my brother's guitar.
Yeah.
I stole all of my brother's shit. Yeah, I stole all of his stuff.
So your family didn't let you listen to that type of music, or
No, I think they're again like very conservative. Like they took us to church all the time,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So I think they had the idea that all of that was devil music.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I remember the first time I heard the Eminem album, the Marshall Mathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit scared me.
Really?
Literally scared me because all that I grew up on was Beach Boys,
Right.
mariachi
And this
music.
guy's killing his mom. And
Right, yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Right. So it took me a long time to get into outside of my, I guess, cultural heritage
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Same. Like I grew up listening to predominantly rap,
Yeah.
like gangster rap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, fucking all kinds of weird shit, like Brother Lynch and
Yeah,
stuff like
yep.
that. And like my mom was totally cool with that.
Uh-huh.
Like I look back and I'm like, wow, she just like let me listen to that.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
crazy.
You come from somewhere.
Yeah.
I didn't get into like heavier music or like even just like classic rock. It took me till like my late teens
Yeah.
before I started getting into rock music. you
Yeah.
know, and then it just slowly progressed into like more like savage music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the building blocks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you got me into Killswitch when I was in Karin before.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
like
yeah.
2011.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even hear about Killswitch until like 2011, 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, I was like, God,
Yeah.
fucking-
Dude, kill switch.
the vocals.
I was well, especially with Howard Jones because
Yeah.
I mean they had Jesse Leach and I was introduced to them from 04,
Oh, for sure.
which was when Alive and Just Breathing was out, and so that was the album that was like, oh damn, for me. And then Into Heartache came out, and I was like, that man's got some voice. That
Right.
doesn't sound like the same dude. Oh wait, it's not.
Yeah. And that's when
And Howard Jones
into
it
him.
has
Yeah,
been
Howard Jones.
by far one of my favorite vocalists of all time. The man can do it all.
Right.
Everything. He's got the power. He's got the harmony. He's got everything.
Right.
And he's just a down to earth dude. Because I had the very fortunate pleasure of being able to meet him in person. And it wasn't like this whole, like we went and had drinks or anything, but it was at Warped Tour of '08. And I got to see him, and he was there at the booth and everything. And I got their signatures on a poster back here from that
cool.
year at Warped Tour. And I was like, I'm going just for them. And I remember going to that booth and getting everyone's autograph, and he was the last one, and I was just like, dude, you made it for me. You're the reason that I'm doing what I want to do right now. Well, I mean, you and Jesse for that matter,
Right.
but bottom line, you guys are the reason I want to do what I want to do. And he's like, yo, man, that is really cool, man. And I was like, he goes, do you want a picture? I was like, I don't have a phone on me. And he was all, smart, don't break it here. I'm like, yeah. And I was like, it was a pleasure, man. And
You
that
got a
was just
sketch
like,
artist?
and that was it
Sketch
for
it
me. I
up
was
right
like,
now.
yes,
Yeah.
I could be that guy, you know.
Yeah.
But everybody, and it's cool because, like, you know, we've talked about this on the podcast before because I also came from hip hop background, listening
we
to
all
that
did.
with all my friends in high school and middle school, and you know, I was a big Eminem fan. I listened to all the Dre albums, all the Snoop albums, DMX. You know, I was into like some underground stuff like hieroglyphics, and I was like, damn, there's something about hip hop
Yeah.
that it's like it's easy to bob your head to.
Right.
And then when I was introduced to metal, I think my first like true like heavy when I mean, and because I listened to Disturbed, I heard what was on the
Right.
radio, right? But I think the first time that I listened to like metalcore was As I Lay Dying.
Yeah.
94 Hours.
Yeah, that
And
was
I
heavy
remember,
back then.
yeah,
Right.
and I was like, I didn't know what to do with that.
Right.
And I was like, damn, like I was kind of like, I don't know if I could ever like this. And here I am listening to shit 3 times heavier than that.
Right. I remember when I was in high school, when I figured out System, there was this guy, Corey, I forget his last name, but we're going to the air races, bus trip to the air races.
Yeah.
I think it was ROTC or something. And he was like, oh, you like Slipknot? You should check out this band Slipknot. And fucking, when I first heard it, I thought it was one drummer. Like, I didn't know if he knew, if he was messing with me.
yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is
so much
going
going
on
on,
right
yeah.
now? This is so crazy. And
Well,
he's like, yeah,
technically,
it's
it
one
is one drummer.
Right.
I mean, Joey was the drummer. There was
Yeah.
two other percussionists.
Yeah, right.
But still, yeah, hearing those like the cake
player.
Yeah.
The cake.
in the
Cake,
background,
yeah.
and yeah, it just, and that added to the atmosphere,
Right.
And you were like, oh my god, like that is different than anything. And then of course Lars did it too with Saint Anger.
Yeah, but that was
Clang.
now that I know more, yeah, hearing that snare, it's like, oh, I hear what.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, it's
As-
every single time he hits the snare.
Yeah.
It's not just
No.
a random,
Yeah.
keg on the floor or something. Every single time. Yeah.
Right.
So, how long has Ghost Lives Matter been around then? When did you guys
I think it
form
was
the group?
2017.
2017.
I
Wow,
think
so
so.
not too long ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so what had happened was, I think this was before I moved to Los Angeles, but he had showed me some stuff that he was working on. And originally he wanted me to do the guitars for it. And
Yeah.
at the time I was doing guitars. And I was like, oh, I'm moving to Los Angeles. I can't, blah, blah. And I left, and I did this whole other thing. And then as I was getting ready to come back home, he sent me an email of a sample again, just out of the blue. Like, I don't think I even told him I was coming home. He just sent me an email. And I was like, this is really fucking good.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want you to play guitars. And I was like, can I try vocals? And he was like, yeah, you could try vocals. And I remember he used to tell me that at one point he was like, this close from asking me to step down. Because it was my first time doing vocals.
Oh, okay.
And, I did I could match pitch with other vocalists,
Yeah.
like, on other discs.
Yeah. Right.
But then having your own...
And making your
Trying to
own.
figure out
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a whole... I did not realize how hard that was going to be.
Yeah.
And then I had a buddy of mine, Jordan Nelly.
Mm-hmm.
He used to play in Fracture Line. He was actually in Behold the Monolith for
Oh, okay.
a whole disc. And he does extreme metal vocals lessons. So I used to listen
Hooked up with him.
Yeah, I used to watch Archer all the time and drink just bottles of tequila and fucking the season where Jules is teaching Carol Lee how to sing. I hit him up. I was like, I want you to be my Jules. I want you to come over and just fucking spend I'll pay you for a whole week.
Yeah.
I'll pay for your ticket and everything.
Help
we
me.
came, and in that week, he helped me so much. And he was like, bro, yeah, you're good.
You're ready.
Good. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need that to get a little
Right.
bit of, like,
He taught me a lot of stuff. Like don't drink any beer before the stage. I don't do
yeah.
like no smoking, none of that stuff. And how
No
to use
Randy
my
Blythe
diaphragm.
up
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, none of that,
As he's in the middle of songs and shit.
Yeah, no, Randy Blythe, right? Exactly that, right? Yeah.
I'll need a beer too. Chase us down. Like,
And everybody's got their thing.
Right,
everybody
right.
has
If it works, it
yeah.
works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, me coming from nothing, when he showed me all of that stuff, I was just like, this is what I'm doing. I'm just gonna take it. It's working.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just roll with it.
Yeah, and I think from when he showed me lessons to where I took like a good 10 steps up. Like, it was
Yeah.
a major difference.
Yeah.
Well, and how long had you have been doing that before you were like, all right, that's it. This is what I want to do. I want to do vocals. How long were you training with him?
Oh, well, I mean, the reason why I decided to do vocals, it's a long fucking story. But when I was in Los Angeles, I was in a band called Born for War, right? And me and the other guitarist, who's a female, we wrote everything. We fucking, I wrote, I think it was like 4 songs. And what we did was we took turns. Like when you write a song, it's purely yours. And then when you bring it to a band,
Yeah.
collaborating, right?
Yeah.
So she would give me her music and I would tear it apart and add stuff to it.
Yeah.
And then I would give her my music and she would tear it apart and add her stuff to it, right? So me and her wrote the whole album. And then the drummer got crazy and did a whole bunch of stuff. Like he accused me of being in love with her. It was the band Born
Were
for War.
they together or?
So we're a band of 4 Marines, 1 active, 3 inactive, and then we had a random bass player, right? A civilian bass player. She was dating a guy in a band called Kings of Carnage.
Okay.
They were all military, 2 Army, 3 Marines. She was married to the lead singer who was a Marine.
Okay.
So he just went straight to the singer and was like, he told me he's in love with your fucking girl. And that fucking just destroyed everything. And I even still have this email, but after he got me kicked out of the band, he sent me an email trying to get me to give my rights away
To the band?
to the band.
Wow.
Just to
continue on,
Just to
but without
continue
you.
on, yeah.
Without you. Yeah.
and like, so I went to LA. I went to the Music Institute. I went to music business, and they taught us like inter band agreements and how to
Yeah.
like legally maintain a band and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So we created an inter band agreement, and the chick came up with the name of the band, right? So
Yeah.
I remember she was like, "How are we splitting the ownership of the name?" And I looked at her and I was like, "You came up with the name. If you want to give the rights away to anyone, that's up to you. To me, you're 100% owner."
Right.
Yeah.
And she was like, "I'm going to split it between you, TK, and myself because we're the 3 original." And I
Right.
was like, "If that's what you want to do."
Right.
That's up to you, yeah.
So then they were trying to get me to sign the name to the right away. And I was like, "I'll do it if you pay me all the money I spent helping recording the album.
Yeah.
You pay me back,
Yeah, yeah.
it's yours."
Right.
And they were like, "Nope." And I was like, "Then fuck off." Right? And so that put a mental block on my guitar playing skills, my ability. Like I did the whole like what's it called, a cliche music run where I get fucked, and so that put me in a mental damper.
Right,
And so
yeah.
when he asked me to play guitar, I was like,
Yeah.
"I'm gonna try vocals."
Okay.
And so I kind of like
Yeah.
Pussy.
Right. It was a big deal for me. It took me forever. Like things that got me back into the guitar playing game was like Akasha. Akasha was touring. They lost a guitarist, and they're like, "We want you to play. So you're managing us, play for us." And I was like, "Okay, but because you guys are touring and you're asking me."
Right.
And I remember like leading up to the tours, I was kind of slacking off because there's this mental block.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just told them yes to this tour.
Yeah.
So at that point, I fucking grabbed my balls.
Right, yeah.
Fucking sat down,
Put 'em
learned
in there.
stuff, right? And fucking went on tour and did the thing. And I went on tour with them twice. I think only once I played with them. And then, so I've been getting back into guitar, getting over that stuff. And that's part of the reason why I did vocals with this guy.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, just to venture out of that. I mean, I understand that block sometimes. I get in those, just even if I don't have an issue with a bandman, I'm like, just, fuck, I don't even want to play. I'll get those practices. You ever go to those practices? You're like, I'm not feeling it today, guys. I'll tell them straight out. I'm like, hey, today's not the day.
Dude, when I was with Born for War, 4 Marines, we practiced 7 days a week.
Jesus.
Man,
We practiced 8-hour days.
What?
Like, I'm not even fucking kidding. We were monsters.
Holy shit.
It was crazy. When we did the battle for Knotfest, the
Yeah.
reps that they had at the end, they were like, "Who the fuck are you guys?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our lawyer. Get his number.
Yeah.
Fucking put out a single.
Yeah.
Hurry
Right.
up.
Yeah.
And then when we did the battle for Summer Slaughter, when we went to meet the reps again, that rep was like, I know these motherfuckers. Just a bunch of motherfuckers that never needed my advice in the first place. What's up? We're like, oh, shit. Right?
Yeah.
So he was like, get a fucking single out.
Yeah.
Get a fucking single out. Like, we were brutal, dude. Like, it was kind of crazy how intense we were because, well, the reason why we were so intense, since we're all veterans, the GI was paying for our school, our rent.
Oh, no
They were
shit.
paying for our recordings.
Yeah.
We did nothing but skate, smoke, and fucking play music. And like a bunch of Marines again, there are so many ladies around. It was a crazy time in Los Angeles. So we were living a really good time. Like the basis is we had to keep switching because we were monsters. 4 Marines, the egos that we had. We were fucking stomping on people, bro. Like I remember.
You guys were butting heads that
not until
that happened.
Yeah. Not until the whole the drummer ended up getting upset. We were fucking brothers. Like it was awesome. There was even this one time I was like getting intense, like, bro, I see the fucking future. It's gonna be really good. And I went to do an audition for another band, and the whole band came with me. And my drummer was like, bro, I'm seeing deja vu. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, fucking, we're gonna be doing shit. And after we did the Knotfest show, that same rep came, and he was like, I want to tell you right now that out of the level of you guys are fucking murdering. You guys should be on the bigger stage.
Right.
Like, it's fucking, you guys are brutal. Like, keep it the fuck up. And I remember I was like, my buddy was like, bro, we need to play Knotfest next year. I was like, I don't want to play Knotfest next year. I want to go to Europe, bro.
Yeah.
I want to go to San Bernardino. Like, what the fuck? Like, we live here. Let's go fucking over there.
Yeah.
And he was like, I get you. I get you. And I was like, right.
Yeah.
So we were on the path. I think what happened was we went into a recording studio, and the recording owner was in everybody's ear talking shit.
That's what they like to do.
Shit.
They like to do that. That's
It was crazy how.
Man, but you guys were good. Like you guys played Knotfest, right?
Right, we played Knotfest.
Yeah, that's big.
It was
big.
And it got me a hard on for festivals.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, because we walked in, and when the vendors found out we were playing on stage, they gave us. There was guys giving us free pot.
Right. Yeah.
Free,
anything you need.
Yeah, anything we need.
Yeah.
It was great.
your phone vibrating?
Mine?
Somebody's phone vibrating.
I thought it was mine, but I don't think so.
No, I checked mine. That was all. It's not mine. So with all that, with that information, I mean, you already knew kind of his history. So having him join, and what was the inspiration of going like, I want you on guitar?
Well, I played in Karin for most of my playing career, which I love those guys to this day. Those are my brothers.
Diva and all them,
I love those guys.
Pound Cake.
Right.
But, we had differing, like, I guess, artistic direction. Like, as far as, like, music, I wanted to do something different, because I'm just, like, a different type of cat, I like fucking jazz and weird influences, beyond just metal.
Yeah.
So, like, I had this itch, like, that I wasn't getting scratched in Karin, Nothing towards those guys. Those guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And I love their music too. But yeah, it was like I wanted to play something different as well.
Yeah.
So I started writing my own music through a program like Ableton. Shout out to them.
Give him a start. Thank you.
Get like shameless plug in there. No, and then I started writing my own music, learning how to use the program.
Yeah.
And then I was, once I started actually being able to like write my own music, I was like, fuck, I kind of want to do this.
Yeah.
So I hit up fucking Mark. I was like, man,
And
hey,
I
play this shit.
For a short time. I also played with Karin for a short time. And one of the best compliments I ever had from him, he was like, dude, I love writing with you because there's no ego.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, to me, when I was entering a band, Karin, like they had songs already, so I wasn't trying to
change everything.
rewrite them and stuff.
I wasn't trying to like show off or anything.
Right.
That's not me. I'm doing me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just learned what they told me to learn, right?
Right, yeah.
And then from there, instead of trying to like do extra leads on top of his leads, I followed the drummer.
Yeah, 100%.
And I just chugged with the drummer.
Yeah.
Whatever he was doing with the bass beats, I just followed him.
Yep.
So I was really supportive of him.
Yeah.
Him being the lead. And he hit me up and was like, bro, why don't you play guitar for me again?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You made me feel so good.
I was like, bro,
I feel all warm. I feel all warm and fuzzy
Right.
when you're playing guitar.
Yeah, and like the first time he asked me, I think it was in like 2015, but that's when I was going to LA. And then when I was, after I had done and dealt with all the Born for War stuff, I was on my way home and he sent me a sample of, I think it was like Gods and Kings or.
Gods and Kings.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa, this
Yeah.
is really fucking good. And I was like, but I want to do vocals. I just, because like when I was in LA, I went through a whole like, spiritual thing too.
Yeah.
I became extremely confident in myself. And that was also the whole, with us four Marines, we helped each other boost each other's confidence.
Yeah.
And it felt good. So we were extremely confident. And with that confidence came with like a lot of like internalizing of like, wow, why was I being a bitch before?
Yeah. You start thinking things.
Yeah.
Like,
So when he hit me up, I was like, I'm ready to do vocals. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I've learned on the streets of LA about expressing myself, and I want to speak it now.
Right.
Right. I don't want to show it with my fingers. I want to speak it. Like leading up to me being vocals for him, I remember I kept posting on Facebook, I need to spit fire. I need to spit fire. And then
Let this tiger loose.
Yeah, and this hot fucking like hippie chick named Tia, she actually spits fire. Like she's a fire performer.
yeah.
She was like, come over and I'll teach you.
You're all. That's not what I meant.
I was like, no, that's not what I meant, but I'm going anyways.
Are they all named Tia? I'm just I know so many chicks that are like that too. They're all named Tia for some reason.
It's the white girls with dreadlocks.
Hey. Yeah, and she taught me how to spit
You got
fire.
a Burning Man.
And that made me feel good for a little bit, but then I stopped burning fire because I came back to here and it's super dry. I can't just spit fire anywhere.
I mean, you can, but
Right. Yeah. Like we used to go underneath like overpasses and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Do it, so there's no way to catch anything on fire.
Right.
And so I told him I wanted to do vocals, came and started writing stuff. He would tell me, because it's his music, he wrote the music, he'd be like, this is my idea lyrically where it would go. And he was spiritually where I was at.
Yeah.
He was on that same path. So I was like, oh, this is what I want to write about anyway.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well.
Yeah.
There was only one song that we wrote that I hated, but it took, they love it. Hello Fear. It used to be called Midlife Crisis.
Okay.
And it took me a while. I rewrote that song twice, and then the second time I was like, this is it just for now. Eventually I'll rewrite it.
Yeah.
And now I think it's kind of not my favorite, but like second place.
Yeah.
Just because of how we like kind of how the rhythm
Made it
is.
work out
Right.
and had it, compiled together with what you wanted, what they wanted.
Did you already have a bunch of stuff like written and like ready to go, or did you listen to the songs and be like, all right, this is how it
Because like Dizzle, I think at the time, I don't know if he still is, but at the time we're just in a very high spiritual spot.
Yeah.
Like we're not different. No one can tell us what to do. You know what I mean? But we still have consequences. It's just like putting out positive energy out.
Yeah.
Right. So, and faith in yourself before having faith in God. Like I keep saying, people who are like religious, who are Christian, and they're like, oh, I accept Jesus Christ in my heart. You should have faith in yourself. Then.
Yeah.
Like if you are saying, enter my spirit, God,
Yeah.
and then you ignore yourself, that's probably the worst thing you can do in that religion.
Right.
You have to have faith in yourself.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the music is about this guy named Epicles, right?
Epicles, yes.
Epicles.
Okay.
And Epicles is a being who found out that he had no doubt that, everything else that everyone was pushing him down about, it was him. It was like him. He allowed it to happen. And he just went above it. And from that, he found out that he could make mountains grow. And grass just spread across and all of that stuff. He can do whatever he wants.
I need to spend some time with you. I need to get into my spiritual side.
Right.
Yeah, Epicles is like a space Conan.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
And like, Conan the Barbarian
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like this ultimate warrior.
Yeah.
Has no fucking weaknesses. Always perseveres over everything. That's kind of what I was like getting to like with Epicles. But he's also, he's been through some shit to make him like get to this point.
Yeah.
The second album
a lot
is
of
about
the
that.
songs are about him like overcoming these humanistic.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Greek god.
ideals.
It's almost very
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like a Greek god.
it's almost very like
mythology.
Yeah, because
Mythological.
the second album that we're working on, the first song is called Chapter 1, and it's about Epicles falling into hell, and he's figuring the whole album's like him coming back out of hell. And oh my god! And so it's like the precursor to the first album. It's how Epicles became this being who had supreme faith in himself and was able to just create in his own realities and stuff like that. It's so good.
Right.
That's interesting.
Epicles is also our mascot, Ghost Boy.
Ghost Boy, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes. So we have my wife is doing a lot of our band art right now.
Yeah.
I wish I brought some. I should have brought some. But she has this one of Ghost Boy in the forest holding a green balloon, and we have a bunch of them of Ghost Boy. There's one with Ghost Boy with a werewolf in sheep's clothing.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
There's one of him in hell.
Yeah.
And she made it so that when you move the painting, the flames actually.
Oh,
How is she doing it?
Up until recently, all of it was hand painting.
Hand painting,
Yeah,
huh?
and then it took me a long time to get her on a pad.
Yeah, the digital. So you go to the digital world.
Yeah, and I tried to buy her one of these sensor pants,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and she was like, "Fuck that!" And I have to do this and look
Yeah.
at the screen.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm a real artist.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then for her birthday last year, I bought her a fat
The,
Wacom.
the big ones. Yeah.
And as soon as she opened, she was on that thing for 15 hours.
Oh, I bet.
Straight,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Yeah, she could not stop. I was like, "Holy crap!"
I'm interested. I'd love to see that stuff.
Dude,
Dude,
and it's not just the ghost life that she does. She does a lot of different
Yeah.
things, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. She's
So
an
it's
artist.
a
She's going
win-win.
into
It's
everything.
it's a win-win.
it's her expressing her artistic
That's great. Yeah,
side
that's
and
cool.
doing what she wants to do. But at the same time, you're like, hey, I got this idea. And she's like,
Hey,
I
hey.
got you. I got
Hey,
you.
Wink, wink.
You know?
nod, nod.
Hey, I have a short story I wrote before I joined Ghost Lives about when I was going through my whole spiritual thing about a father trying to teach his son how to be God, and the son's like, why are we trying to be gods here? And this is a short,
Good question.
this is a short little fucking little tidbit, but
Yeah.
the dad's like, son, when God created us, when He made us in His image, do you think He wanted to create someone who's obeying Him and worshiping Him at every move, or He created someone to be just like Him, a son, to take up the mantle? We are His children.
Interesting.
So it's like a short little thing, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's like a whole bigger story where he's talking
Yeah.
about God created Nibelus and all this stuff, and then when He turned to create man, do you think He just wanted someone that was going to obey Him?
Right. Like a slave.
Right. He didn't want slaves.
He didn't want slaves.
He wants someone to
Take
be
it up.
better than
Yeah.
him.
Well, yeah.
Right. So that's us.
It's a,
If you believe in that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, life only takes you so far. So
Right,
if you
right,
want-
right.
You know, you're
Yeah, I mean, you gotta take control. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people. Some people choose to see curses and miracles,
right.
Yeah.
and they're sad and upset. And this being, something's holding me down.
Right. Right.
When, I choose to see life as obstacles and
Right,
challenges,
Yeah, yeah.
and all of those are
You learn
meant to be
something from
overcome.
everything.
Right. Right. So even if I did fail, I'm gonna learn from that failure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's just gonna I'm gonna be a better person.
Yeah.
So just with that confidence, I keep telling, I have my little nephew who's a little sad boy sometimes, right? I'm like, bro, in America, unless you have a freak accident, you're not gonna die.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you are basically essentially immortal, and you get to choose your path.
Yeah.
Don't be sad. Fucking get fucking confident.
Yeah.
Well, sad people also come up with a lot of.
Oh yeah, I mean,
There's the other side of that coin. Too,
Right, that's
where
true.
It's like,
depression makes beautiful art.
the most
Right.
amazing art most of the
Right.
time.
Pressure makes diamonds.
Right, absolutely.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I believe definitely our struggles are what makes us better people in the long run.
Right.
You know, I think we I don't know, I guess as people we look at struggle as this fucking hardship and why is this happening
Yeah.
to me?
Yeah.
How was I
You know,
born?
but
Well,
it's
and there's things that you probably go through in life that you're like, I think I could have gone my whole life without having to go through that.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for
Yeah.
that, universe or whatever
Right.
it may have been. But
Yeah.
but at the same time, I believe wholeheartedly that we learn something from everything, even if it's not about that situation. Maybe it's something about ourselves or about someone else in that situation that you're like, okay, now I know this, or now if I come across it, I know how to react to it, or
Right.
I know how to defend, I know how to, embrace, or whatever the case may have been.
And
Right,
most of the time, you won't learn that until later on in your
Oh,
life.
yeah.
Right,
No,
yeah,
no,
and
in
that's
the
as a
little bit,
young
right?
child, there's
in the
lot of
moment,
information coming at you. You're just trying to get it pieced out. Like, what the fuck is going on?
when you're in
Right.
adolescence, you're just at that point, you're just taking everything
yeah, you're
in,
taking it in.
and
It can
yeah,
be overwhelming.
9 times out of 10, you're gonna take it as like, fuck that,
Fuck
like,
that.
this is bullshit,
Right.
It's a knee-jerk reaction.
Exactly,
Right.
it is, and it's like you don't want to go through something that's going to make your life hard. Nobody wants that, but at the same time, the best lessons are learned from failing at something.
Oh,
You learn some of the greatest things about yourself by having done the wrong thing, or making the wrong decision, or just flat out not having it work out.
Right.
And then you go, well, damn.
Well, that
okay.
sucked.
Well, that sucked.
Let's not
but
do that again.
Right.
like it goes back to that whole, the idea of, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But, there's always something to learn, and I think even into our elderly years, we may think that, oh, I've been through it all,
That's why you
I've
get the
done it
old
all,
wise men.
But
That's the old wise men.
yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, I think, you're going to be learning something about yourself even when you are on your way out,
Right.
especially
Yeah.
when it's your time.
If not, you're giving up.
Right,
That's it.
exactly.
Yeah, none of us has been to Disney Mars yet, but
No,
eventually
Disney
Mars
Mars.
is gonna be there, right?
That's a fucking thing. I'm buying a
as
ship
an
tomorrow.
old man,
Speak of.
you may have experienced everything, but you haven't experienced Disney Mars yet.
Tickets on sale
Disney
next
Playhouse.
Toontown in Mars is crazy.
Get a
You
park
go
hopper.
there.
I call it Lunar Disney Playhouse. That's gonna be the first one.
That's the spot.
That's the spot.
So Dizzle, when you write songs, and just like when you were talking about how you had that idea about what you wanted the song to be about, is that a common thing, or do you always kind of have something in the back of your mind, like when I'm writing this riff, I'm writing this song, I have this idea of this story I want to tell, and then you just go, Mark, this is my idea.
Well, normally it starts out with like me just playing a cool riff, and I'm like, hey, like, what is the feeling behind this riff?
Yeah.
And then I create the story as like I go, because like I have like a pretty, even though the music is kind of complex, I try to keep it like Beatles style songwriting. You
Yeah.
know? So like for me, it's like the bridge of the song is what kind of puts it all together.
Yeah.
Or it creates the meaning of
The
the
transition into the whole of the chorus, right, where everything really comes together, that
Right.
climax of it. Yeah.
Like the build up to like the climax, I guess, is what like kind of is like, I like to look at it as like a story in a sense, like the fucking mystery is solved
Yeah.
in this one area,
Yeah.
like you're like, oh, this song is pretty crazy. What's going on here?
Yeah.
And it's called this weird name, and then it goes into the bridge of the song, and it's like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
You're tying everything together and stuff.
right, but that's what I like to do, is write complex like pieces, riffs, but like kind of like be able to like tell a story with
Yeah,
everything, because I think that's what music is about
And he's the
feeling
mastermind of
something,
complexity. Like the name Ghost Lives Matter is controversial.
Yeah.
We have songs like Dreams Melt Steel Beams, but all of the songs are about like faith in yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not really political,
Right.
Yeah.
but he's like almost like a spiral of just like,
it's about like moving things,
Yeah. Okay.
like if like controversy moves things and makes people think, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
I feel like people need to be like shook.
Yeah.
And people need to, not stay stagnant.
Be
and-
present, be awake, be,
Right.
see for yourself.
Yeah, because things like culture and like political beliefs, they keep us in a box.
Yeah.
It keeps everybody divided.
right.
Yeah.
So we're almost mixing it all up at once, poking
Yeah.
the bear in every single direction,
Right.
and then speaking about spirituality.
Right. Like come in here.
Yeah.
Listen.
Right.
To everything.
Still water stays stagnant.
Right.
know?
Yeah.
You gotta fucking throw a rock in there
Yeah.
to make people like be like, oh, what the fuck is this?
Right. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do I feel about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I like that.
Well, and I think for the genre too, for when you play metal, it's one of those rocks in a pond, because it's not something that is,
It's going against the grain.
It's not
smooth jazz.
it's not smooth across the board for everybody, right? Because I've always believed that metal itself has always been an acquired taste, and if you love it, you love it, and sometimes the hardest part is describing why you love it. And you find these bits and pieces because there's so much of it that you want, that you love, like whether it's the fast pace of the drums. Like for me, it's always been like the drummers have always blown my fucking minds when it comes to metal, right? And it's like the fact that they can keep time and transition the way that they change. It's like, oh my fucking god, like,
Right.
I would kill to learn how to drum like
That's
Robert.
funny. It's mine's vocals.
Yeah. Well, and and that's the other thing too, is like, talking with Mark Moods.
Yeah.
He had such an interesting outlook about writing lyrics, where he was like, I'm not worried about writing lyrics. I'm worried about using my voice as the instrument that it is, a part of this group.
Right.
And so when we are writing something, I'm not saying anything, and maybe there will be one or two words here and there, but ultimately I'm vocalizing the tones I want, or the ones that feel right. And then once we get to the recording process, that's when things are going to get set in stone, because it's going to be recorded. And then at that point, that's when I write. And I'm like, that blows
In the studio,
my
he's right.
mind.
Right.
Yeah,
You got the pen and
structure
paper,
there.
and you've been
Right.
touring with these, you've been playing, and then in all the while, when you go to the studio, now you're writing.
I mean,
something.
it makes sense because even mine, like as I'm growing as a vocalist, because I started off with this band, I hear tones that I can't hit yet.
Yeah.
So I'm getting better with those tones, but what's on our record is not what I hear.
Yeah.
And so like at our practices, I'm doing things a little different here and there.
Yeah.
Until he tells me hey, go back.
Right. If something's not working,
don't do that.
That's a good thing to have the whole band there and be like, hey, is this working?
Yeah.
Because like there's certain parts in the song, like in Epicles, there's a part where in my head I hear a Chester scream, Chester Bennington.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When we recorded it, I could not do that.
Yeah.
I'm getting
Those
better
are
now.
hard.
Yeah.
That's see us getting to a different
Yeah,
range.
now I'm getting to that point. I can actually hit them. So on practice, I've been doing them. Sometimes live, I'll do them. I get a little nervous when I'm live.
Right,
but
right,
sometimes
right.
I'll go back to just a deep growl. But I hear something different. So I'm always constantly trying to get to
Yeah,
that point.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, with me, it's like the opposite. I feel like I'm more nervous at practice than when I'm on stage. On
Right.
stage, I feel like, I don't know, I'm able to kind of express myself to a crowd. I don't know. It's
A little
good.
bit more.
Because you
That's
feel like
interesting.
it's already done, right? You've already put in
Well,
the
you're
work
there.
to write it, to
Right.
practice it and all that. So now it's like, here you go,
Well,
right?
the way I see it, the stage is the battlefield. You could be nervous all up
Yeah.
on the ship getting onto the beach, but once you're on that fucking beach, it's fucking do or die. You just go.
Well, that's how I like. So like, I'm the opposite. Like practices is fine. I'm so loose at practices. When I get on stage, I'm yelling at everybody. Get your shit together. What the fuck? We gotta play. Like
Sound check
me.
Get up here.
We're on a time frame. This shit's going now. Where the fuck are you at?
Right? I
And
mean,
then it's like once I get on, because I run on that structure. Like so practices, I could get all the structures down. I know what I need to do. So if I need so going on the battlefield, I know what I need to do.
Right.
This is what I need to do. Let's get the team riled up. We got to get going.
Right.
This is what we have to do.
We've got the
Right.
pack.
Let's get
built.
this going.
Let's go.
Right.
I feel like it's like, well, whatever the worst is going to happen, the worst is going to happen, of course.
Yeah.
We just gotta fucking push through that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it's
breaking
that
a
chaos,
string and
right.
grabbing a
That's
guitar.
the-
right?
I love
Exactly.
that for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, I actually get so comfortable on stage. My biggest downfall on stage is I'll get so comfortable, I'll carry a scream too long. I'm like, oh shit, we just
Yeah, right.
changed.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, where am I now?
Yeah.
So
But it'll work.
right,
It'll
yeah,
work. Like,
yeah. So I'll get really comfortable on stage and mess up because the band will be, and I'm over here,
Yeah.
fucking in the wind.
But it's thriving on that chaos.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
everything's fucking going. The crowd's getting going. You're like, oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
hey, you have no choice. You're
Yeah,
already
yeah,
up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
like,
Can't be like,
fucking
hold
fun.
on, we gotta
Right.
get something going.
Yeah.
We gotta change a string real quick. Hold on.
I think my favorite live performance so far was at the Pig Fest because it was outside.
Yeah, that was a
And-
good one.
Right, and we were playing like the songs we're talking about is very like again spiritual. The wind's blowing.
Yeah.
So I was up there like, this is where I need to be every
Last
time.
year?
Yeah, last
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Yeah. I was like, this is great.
So
Yeah.
There was so
For me,
much
it was
wind.
great because it's like we're talking about like
My cymbals were falling over
Yeah.
and shit.
but like there was times we didn't have a drummer at the time, so that was easy for us.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
some of our lyrics, I had this lyric that goes, he who wonders the unmeasurable all, who doesn't fear God or thunder, right? So I'm singing that, and there's wind just blowing hard, and I feel like I'm almost tempting,
Yeah,
Yeah.
tempting them, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So it was a very awesome,
Yeah.
a very
Yeah.
awesome show.
All I can picture is like Forrest Gump and the guys up on their sail, dude. You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Come
Yeah, exactly that.
The fucking hurricane and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, Lieutenant
Fucking
Dan.
Lieutenant
Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
And then after that, the next day he's like jumping in the water and shit.
Swimming
like,
and
he's
shit.
like, oh, I'm good now, dude. I feel that like sometimes like getting into those points where you're like in that craziness and you're like, fuck, shit's just going nuts right now. And then the next day it's like everything's peaceful. There's like birds flying and
Yeah.
shit. I'm like,
Right.
this is nice.
Other times I feel like Forrest Gump on stage. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey guys,
Hey, guys.
that's my boat.
Mama said they were my special shoes.
Jen
Sing you a song.
I brought some chocolates.
About it myself.
I ate some.
Right, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like I just go on stage as like Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Just
But you get that
Yeah.
energy right before it, though, right? You're like,
Oh, I think he goes Forrest Gump like happy,
Mentally,
like just like Forrest Gump doesn't realize the
Yeah.
kind of he's just like I fucking
Because
love
think
it.
about it, like he was this guy who was slow, but he was
Met the
able to do
president.
everything right.
yeah.
You know, it's like I kind of like feel like they're teaching that like mentality. It was like the meek shall inherit the earth in
Yeah.
a sense.
Yeah.
Like how he was so meek, so
Yeah.
innocent, and yet but he did everything
He
right.
did everything.
Even
yeah.
though he was making mistakes
Yeah.
the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
You know?
And people were doubting him the whole
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Like, this fucking retard.
Right. Always talking shit. He just blew past all of
Yeah,
them.
he
right?
blew past all of them.
Right.
I could just see him down there like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Right?
I just felt like running.
He was a simp though.
Yeah.
I mean, for
was a
Jenny.
For sure, yeah.
Freaking what was his wife's name?
Jenny.
Jenny.
I named my buck Jenny.
Don't get me started on Jim.
Right? She's a horrible person.
Yeah, she was the worst person ever.
Selfish bitch.
I know.
No, so talking about playing live too, because like I had a conversation. The last show I played was up in Tahoe, and there was a band there, and they were. It was funny because Mike got the brunt of it. It was just fucking hilarious because he was there to film, and he was just in the front row, just enjoying it. And the vocalist at the time, he was playing, and he's trying to get everybody riled up, trying to get everybody having fun, and he just gets off stage and just takes both hands and just shoves Mike all the way to the back of the venue through everyone.
He didn't like your face.
And he's like, "What the fuck, man?"
You gotta keep staring at me.
But talking to him afterwards, right? But talking to him after the set was over and they were, breaking down and stuff, and they were like, people need to understand, that we're up here, we're just having fun, but the energy of the band comes from the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Unless you're the
fuck, yeah,
drummer.
you're right. You're right.
You can't see the crowd.
But you're limited because you
I
can't
am.
really move around. You're
Yeah.
not Lars.
No.
Where you're standing up.
Yeah. Hey, guys.
Dunk, and just standing up over and over. But at the same time, that's a true thing. The crowd, the group that's watching you play, gets you hyped.
All right.
They get you in the moment. They get you kind of like when they're having fun. You're like 2 levels up because you're like they're having fun.
Right.
You're like yeah. And that's something when you go out on stage, you got to have that mindset of like, if I'm not having fun, they're not going to have fun because they're going to see it all over your
Oh,
face.
right.
And they're going to read you and be like, God damn, yeah, they're not having it. I'm not having it either, But if you're out there, whether whether you're new, it's your first show, or it's your 90th, it doesn't matter. You're going to go out there and you're going to have that mindset of like, let's fucking go, let's have fun, you know?
Yeah,
And if you present that energy, it's going to be reciprocated back to you, and it's going to show out in the crowd, you know? And even if there's 4 people out there, as long as one person is having a good time, I'm one of those guys that's like, I'm having fun with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm focusing on you this whole set, you know?
right.
It seems like
staring at
Yeah.
You guys were thinking about fat women. Why are you looking at me?
Yeah.
That's not what I meant. Sorry.
That's why Mike got pushed.
Yeah.
no, I feel the same way, like in a sense, like, but you know, as I'm presenting myself, you know,
Yeah.
peacocking,
Yeah,
if you will,
Yeah.
Showing off all your hard work, all the time you spent writing.
His solos, man. I don't know if
it's
you ever
like,
heard any of his
I
solos.
don't
but
really
Oh, yeah.
care.
Well, we played after you guys at
Oh.
the
Yeah.
Big Fest.
Oh, okay, for sure.
Oh, I saw you.
Lethal Inception.
Yeah,
we played
for
right
sure.
after you
Yeah.
guys. So we got to watch your whole set.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
Actually, I was right next to you. Actually, the whole time I was like,
yeah,
and I was looking for everybody else.
yeah. Like his solos at that again, like feeling the wind again, but then hearing his solos, I was like, I feel like my hair's blowing.
Yeah.
I feel like regardless of who's there or like
Yeah.
whether I'm playing in front of 1,000 people or like, you know, one person, it's like the same like when I'm on stage, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna enjoy doing what I do.
Yeah.
You know, it's like going to a fucking art exhibit and looking at this piece of art. You know, like that piece of art doesn't care
Yeah.
how many
Right.
people is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still gonna sit there just as beautiful as it was
Right.
like
Yeah.
100 years ago.
Yeah.
You know.
Until the artist is behind you,
Yeah.
pushing you because you're staring at them.
You don't have my way.
Yeah.
You're blocking the whole crowd. Get out of the way. I don't know why they were French, but they're French.
Yeah. Automatically went there.
Automatically.
The Louvre, right? The
Yeah,
Louvre.
just
Yeah.
did a little-
That's why. That's why.
I got stuck in the Louvre actually last time I was there. They locked us in.
Oh,
There was a threat, I guess, apparently.
Oh,
We were in
for
one of
sure.
the-
It's not because he looked like a piece of art.
No, yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
just so
We
you're
don't
aware.
belong here. We just got done seeing the Mona Lisa, and we went into this room, and it was filled gold all the way through. And I'm like, and then they locked the doors. Security guards right in front. I was like, "What? You locked us in the most expensive room right now. This is not a good sign. I'm gonna start scraping the walls here soon." Like,
Like I have ADD.
Yeah,
You
these
gotta let me
guys
out.
are-
Yeah, I can't not do something with my hands.
yeah, I know. I was pacing. There was like literally like a path there. Robert was here.
Yeah.
I actually signed it. It's a piece of art now. They left it.
It's a crazy situation.
It was crazy because they were all like suited up, like
Dude,
the bulletproof vests.
yeah, I went to
and-
Italy, and it's crazy because like when I was in Italy, they had active military on the roads.
Yeah.
Scar heavies, grenades on their chests.
Yep.
Like I went to the train, there's guys with grenades on their chests. I was like, what are you gonna do with a grenade
Yeah.
in this tunnel, bro?
Right, yeah.
Like, are you serious?
Are you gonna really get that
Really?
one guy?
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy to me.
That was me go through Mexico though.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys were all in black and they were suited up. Yeah. And even the helmets and shit. I was like, Star Trek? What the fuck is going on here, dude? There's a reverse stormtrooper going on over here.
Damn.
Yeah,
But
that was scary.
I remember
it was a soccer game.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, yeah. I was at when I was in Greece, and when we went up to the Parthenon, and we were going to go see everything up there on the Acropolis, they open at a certain time, and the reason they wait until it's that time is because the military will drive up in their Humvee with the Greek flag.
Oh,
And they don't open the gates until they have walked it all the way up over past the Parthenon on the farthest ridge. I want to say it's the eastern ridge, and there's this cove that you can see pretty much the whole city from, and the one flagpole. And they go up there and they hoist it up, and when they're done, they come back down, and then they go, "Now you're good."
Really?
And then they open the gates.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of cool stuff.
But they got the changing of the guard that they do outside of the Capitol building in
I saw that in
Athens,
Czech Republic
and
and
some
Prague.
countries
crazy.
military garb.
Dude, it's insane.
The Greek, they look like elves at the North Pole.
Prague was the same way, dude.
And I'm not dogging on them, but I'm just like those little fuzzy balls on the end of their shoes, and they're elf shoes, dude. I'm like, that is weird.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was weird to see.
That's like about as intimidating as a Canadian.
Hey, we're gonna shoot you.
Yeah, I was like, they got horses.
Sorry.
The Monties, man.
Or the British with their giant.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I like watch. Sometimes I'll go into the videos, YouTube videos, people trying to fuck with them and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You don't do that. You don't fucking do that. They don't give a shit. They'll run
I mean,
you right
the
over.
military. I
dude.
don't know why you would try to poke a bear of any person's military.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't do that.
Those guys trained to beat people up.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
leave 'em alone.
The hats.
Yeah, change your hat. I won't fuck with you.
If
so
you
much.
looked
Like,
intimidating, we wouldn't do anything.
It's kind of like people in bears over at Yellowstone. They're like, oh, look at the pretty bears. That bear's gonna fuck you up. Leave it alone.
That's usually the next video after.
Well, why did they make him so cuddly?
Look at Yogi Bear. I got a sandwich. Fuck, he's following me.
Yeah, if every cartoon of bears,
Yeah.
if every cartoon of bears
Yeah,
was
thanks,
they were
Disney.
the
You
villain,
fucked everything
Right.
right.
yeah, then people wouldn't be so like, oh, let's go pat it. You
Yeah.
know? They'd be like, that's gonna kill me. No,
Yeah.
hard pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Yellowstone and saw a guy try to go up and pet a bison, and I was like, at a distance, just like, this guy, why?
Yeah.
And that bison straight fucking, he didn't get hit, but it got close, and I was like,
yeah.
yeah, why are you freaking messing with the animals? Like,
I
there are
love
no
those
gates or
guys,
anything,
though.
but
Did you stand in front of a bull?
Yeah.
That's bigger.
It's so well. I mean, the running of the bulls.
yeah,
and
I actually
stuff
want to
is-
do that, so I guess I have
Yeah.
a place to
I
talk.
would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
That's white people stuff. Not gonna.
Y'all can have your fucking fun. Have fun. Go nuts. I'm cool writing music, actually.
I'm too old for that now. I'm slower than I was in my 20s.
I just gotta outrun you. I was like, "Who's the weakest person here, right? You. All right. I'm sticking by you.
Trip his legs.
Just trip him as he's running. Fuck
Right.
yeah.
Oh fuck. In your guys' opinion, I mean, and maybe you both have different opinions on this, but what would you say? Because you guys have been around since 2017. So, what would you say was your favorite show that you've played together as a band?
Oh, man, that's hard.
tough. I guess it was the pig roast or the.
I mean, I had a lot of memorable ones. I don't know. With me, when I get on stage, before I got married and everything, when I was single, I was like, stage is home.
Yeah.
You know, so to me, every time I got on stage, it was great. The two memorable ones that I really enjoyed was the Alco show that we played. I think it was like,
Silver Dollar.
yeah, it was like after 4 months after we were together, and then the Pig Fest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were really fun.
Honestly, I think, well, low key, one of the best shows we played was our very first show.
Oh yeah,
Aaron.
I think that was El Torres, right? Before they yeah.
Aaron's.
It was his benefit show from when he
Benefit,
was
yeah.
put in a coma.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was just me and him.
Wow.
Yeah,
shit.
we didn't have a bassist, and that's where we met our bassist, John, our
Yeah.
first bassist.
Yeah.
Because we weren't gonna play any shows because it was just the two of us. We were just learning everything.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was paying for the drummer of Akasha to do all of our drumming recording.
Yeah.
So I was kind of getting the band pushed forward with session players, and he did both rhythm and lead, and who did bass?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was Federico who did bass.
Yeah.
And so we're pushing to get an album out, but we weren't playing anything live. And then when that happened, we're like, we gotta play live.
Yeah.
We already have all
Yeah.
these like pre-mixed drum beats
Yeah.
and stuff like that, so let's do it.
Yeah,
got a
he
starting
didn't
point.
even know all the songs at that point,
Right.
so we had to play 2 covers.
Oh, yeah,
two
that's right.
Kill switch covers.
Yeah, we played 2 kill switch covers, and I think we played like the first 4 songs or something like that.
Yeah, we played the first 3 6-string songs, the 2 kill switch covers, and then 1 7-string song.
What covers did you guys play?
End of Heartache
Yeah.
and My Curse.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You guys looking for a drummer?
Well, right now we have a full everything. Like we have Kevin. Oh my god, I can't believe McGill.
Montoya?
No, not Matoya.
I was like, oh,
He
shit, that
plays
guy's
in.
busy.
He just played a show. God damn it, I
busy
can't
just
believe
with
it.
Yeah,
One
dude,
solo
he's like, I'm doing a
project.
solo project, dude. I'm ostracized. Like he's like, I'm gonna do another project too. Just add a little bit on there.
Sounds like
Yeah,
you.
Kevin McGill. He plays in. What was the band that just played?
Evil Ash.
Evil Ash.
wow.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
a drummer
okay.
for Evil Ash, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we got him as a drummer, and then Tim. So originally it was me, Dizzle, and John Crisp.
Yeah.
And we had a drum beat. Like we actually got a blow up Ghosts
Oh,
And we
okay.
had him behind a fake drum set. at
Oh,
one point.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He taped fucking drumsticks to him, and that was our drummer.
Yeah.
We were thinking about doing music videos with him and everything.
Fuck it.
Right. And then once John left, we found Tim. And did Tim bring Kevin? How did Kevin come around?
Tim brought Kevin.
Tim
yeah.
brought
okay.
Kevin, right?
Tim knows everybody.
Right. And originally we were talking to, I forget his name, but he was a friend of Mark Craig, Craig, the singer for Ghost for All Seasons. David.
I don't know his name
David
off the top of my
Huffman?
head.
I don't know.
I forget his last name. I think it was David Huffman. I think
Okay.
it was, and we were playing with him. But it was the first time where we had like multiple drummers. Interested in the band, so we rotated them out for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
Kevin was the one that just kept in contact. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, yeah. Like I remember I think Kevin and Tim were both like, "Are we in the band?" Like,
Because, yeah, you guys just
we're
wrote
just like,
yeah.
no.
well, not only that, but
How
like,
do I know?
Yeah.
like with John Slaughter, he was like, "I am in the band."
Yeah.
Like he just
Yeah.
rolled up and was just like, I mean, there
Let's
was
do
even
this.
yeah, like there was even days where we were like, we're doing band practice, and I'm like, I'm kind of being lazy today. And he's like, "Bro, man it the fuck up." Like,
All right.
Oh,
like,
shit, okay.
Someone who wasn't even in the band from the beginning, he was like, "Get over here, let's go, come on." So he almost set the standard for me when it came to bringing members in.
Yeah.
Actually, like I remember I had to sit down with Tim and Kevin and be like, "Okay, you guys are in the band. I'm sorry I didn't tell you that.
Yeah.
I'm just so used to like John Slaughter. He just came in and just started freaking. He was
Yeah.
like, "I am in the band."
Right, yeah.
And
Yeah, you can't take that with every band member.
Right.
Right,
They're not
right.
gonna do that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's tough
Yeah.
these days.
It is
Yeah.
tough, super tough.
I feel like the older you get, the more responsibilities you
Yeah.
have. It's
Well,
just
yeah.
harder to keep the fucking, the momentum going.
Yeah, and especially in the music scene, because like everybody's has their own shit going on
Yeah.
and stuff. You're like, all right, are they gonna be here?
Yeah,
Are they gonna be
well,
here on time?
I think it's definitely become more of a young man's game, but it doesn't
I wish
change.
there was more young, more.
No,
into
I
the
agree.
scene,
I think-
though.
Right, right.
That's-
And maybe
It's the old
there
people you
are.
see
We
at the
just don't
shows.
see
Yep.
them.
Not a lot of young people, right?
Yeah.
Well, think about it too. I mean, look at a lot of the shows that are getting put on. A lot of them are 21 or over. Maybe that's what's keeping
Yeah.
some of these younger
I know.
bands from playing.
For sure.
Yeah, we
you
talked
know,
about that.
yeah,
So,
maybe that's part of it, but-
venues are
Yeah.
you can't find a venue.
No,
that's
no,
like
no.
Under fucking 21.
Right, and maybe that has something to do with it. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, you get older, you have responsibilities like kids.
The seller
You know,
could do
that's
that though.
that's something that is tough.
could
And
easily
especially if you're
Cut it in half, right?
yeah. When you have kids, it's like that's a hard thing to do because you're like when they're young, especially, you know what I mean, when they're between newborn and like 6. That's like the like okay, I hopefully my significant other can hold down the fort, right? Fuck you, Mike. Your kids are all
without
fucking
ripping
not
your head off
They're
when
in
you get
college.
back.
Right.
That's the
But
thing.
but the big thing is like that's a factor, and that's hard, especially with if you're not able, if you're the breadwinner too, right? If you're in that position where you're like, okay, if it wasn't for my job and my income, it's like unless you have the ability to get paid while you're on tour,
Right.
like because it's a
My
grind.
wife's Hispanic, so she rips my head.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, that's the scary. Like, my biggest fear right now with my daughter is that she's half Hispanic. She looks brown. She's like, I remember when the baby came out, my sister told my wife, like, you gave birth to a Mexican, and so she looks brown, and she has my mom's look, and that scares the hell out of me. And then she has. What is it? I think Scottish and Irish from my wife's side. So she has like all the
yeah.
angry stuff. And I'm like, God, let's just make sure she
Yeah.
doesn't ever drink.
I worry about that with my kid too. I'm like,
You got all the
settle down there.
you got all the good stuff.
So my thing with my kid, like, I feel that's the reason why I have to push forward. But he's like the reason why I keep playing and keep writing and
Yeah.
try to keep going to band practices because I want to teach him that he needs to follow his dreams regardless.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
be an
yeah.
inspiration.
Whatever happens in your life, no matter how many responsibilities you
Right.
have, you got to have that.
It gets hard to juggle actually.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, especially when you're really passionate about something too. If you really show an interest in something, don't give up on it. Because you never know what that will bring to your life.
Right.
You never know. Like just for me, I used to be very shy. I didn't used to like being in front
Same
of fucking
here.
Too.
I
Me too.
I was always so nervous, like even in front of like family members, like when I was a kid, like I loved to fucking dance when I was a kid. Like
Yeah.
I'm a dance machine.
Yeah.
You motherfucker saw it at my wedding. But
Yeah. Actually, my kid showed you.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. But at the same time, it was like, okay, I only did that in certain situations, and there was always that dream of wanting to have that,
I just wanted
that one talent, like, yeah, Kevin Bacon, fuck it, I want to be Kevin Bacon in Footloose.
Yeah.
But you have that thing that you want to do, but there's always that side of you that's like you're afraid to get out in front of people. And then when I started learning to do vocals,
that's weird coming from doing a frontman.
But that's
too.
the thing.
That
Is
would
like,
not be my first pick. I would have been like, all right, what's the furthest back? And that's what I did. Exactly. All right, what's all the way in the back? Drums. Perfect.
Yeah.
How many cymbals can I get up there? Yeah, just make a wall of those. Let's do that.
But for me, like, I always had the dream of being some sort of entertainer, or because I loved making people laugh, whether it was my friends or my family. So it was like, I thought about doing comedy for a
my
while.
parents
I always
should have
just
been an
do a
actor.
random
Yeah,
comedy.
I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to, I did acting in high school where I took theater class, and I ended up being in the spring play my senior year just because it was my senior project.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I had so much fun. And that was kind of like the gateway of saying, okay, if I could do this, then I could definitely do vocals. I'm already learning how to do it. Might as well just put myself out there the way I did for this, And that's what kind of got me on that path of, fuck it, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I was such a shy guy that when I first started with Karin, like I remember the way I got into Karin was I did the Soul Torn guys.
Oh, okay,
And so I was such a shy person that I walked past those guys 30,000 times over at the Panther Valley spot. They smoke weed, I smoke weed. They didn't stop to say hello once.
Yeah.
nothing, right?
So rude.
Yeah, I know. It was super rude at the time.
Especially for like metal musicians, that's
Right.
like the most humble fucking.
Right. and I remember I go to one of their practices. We all become friends, and they take me to. They play. It was the last show that I saw them at Soul Torn, and Karin was playing, and they had a guitarist named Jason. And like leading up to the show, I was like, Justin. I was like, leading up to the show, I was like, I need to try to get into a band. And Diva was like, this is our guitarist is Justin's last fucking show. And I was like, just wait, let's see if I can actually, it's not like I'm gonna run up to the stage.
Right. Yeah.
So I was just like, just be calm. And then there was an after party at that Panther spot, and I was hanging out with Diva, and Diva was smoking a cigarette with this chick. I think it was Angela. And he was like, we were talking. He's like, oh, by the way, we're looking for a guitarist if you know anyone, because they didn't even know I played. Right. And in my head, I was like, just wait for him to like leave the lady, because I don't want to interrupt. I don't know what he's doing with this lady, so I'm not trying to like cock block or anything. And then he gets up, he walks in, and I come up to him and I was like, yo, bro, let me show you something. And I take him upstairs, and I show him one of my songs, and he was like, what are you doing Wednesday? And I remember after that, I went back down to the Soul Torn show, and Pound Cake. I didn't know him at the time, and I just feel this solid hand like on my shoulder.
Big old fucking.
And I look over, and he's like, "Hey."
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, did you show my singer something?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Can you show me?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I showed him, and he was like, "Yeah, bro." And we hung out the rest of that night together. And he was like, "Have you ever played have you ever played on stage?" And I'd never played. And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." Like tons of times.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right? And I think I told him almost like a year ago that finally that, but for a long time, like I just pushed myself at that point. I needed to do something because I was so shy and shit. And it was after the Marine Corps. I didn't understand why I was being so shy and everything.
Yeah, especially being in the Marine Corps.
And because I went through a little slump afterwards. And then I remember there was this one time I was out in the cold, like hunched over, fucking looking all sad. This voice in my head, bro, you fucking went to war.
Yeah.
Stand up straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was at that point, I just kept trying to
Get back in the shit.
get back in the shit.
Right.
Right.
And the thing is like you never had played a show, right?
Never.
Before you played with us.
Nope, never. And
crazy,
I learned their 8 songs in a week
Really?
on a busted wrist. I had a chick friend of mine who at the time I was trying to date. They had like a birthday party for her nephew or something at the Roller Kingdom.
Yeah.
And it was my first time on skates ever.
Oh yeah, I skate all the time.
And I was like, you're gonna get on this rink and not be a bitch. Like you're gonna go out there and fucking. And
You're
I
gonna
was
go
like,
out there and wreck skate.
quack.
Yeah.
And I was going,
Yeah.
like going, man. And I was like, I got this, turning and stuff. I'm like, I got this.
I don't know how to stop.
Right. And then finally I slipped and put my hand out.
Oh yeah.
And the next day I had to go to their practice and like I didn't wear my wrist guard or anything, and I learned and they have fast songs. I don't know if you forget. learn all of their songs in a week, and they're like, we play this upcoming weekend. Can you? And I was like, yeah, me and him.
Fuck yeah, fuck the hospital. I
Yeah.
don't need that shit.
And I remember I played that first show, and everybody was coming up and giving me high fives. Yeah, they're like, holy shit, bro. And I was like,
Fuck
damn,
yeah,
my
dude.
hand hurts.
Yeah, yeah.
Go this hand.
Yeah, and then I hope you write, what was it, 3 songs?
I believe so. Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 songs. And that was the funnest time I ever had writing songs was with him. And so when he called me back to join up again with Ghost Lives, I was like, yeah, but I'm doing vocals this time.
Yeah.
Just in case my wrist fucks up again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because then you don't need your rest. You're good.
Right.
Matter of fact, I'm going roller skating tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I don't
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
anymore. Nope, never. Skateboard, snowboard.
Oh, I've got
Nothing with
plenty
you.
of skateboarding.
Yeah.
injuries.
So, all right, and we've talked a lot about music and where you guys are driving for your writing and all that good stuff. But what's your guys' Mount Rushmore?
I mean,
I'm sure you guys have heard of this, right? What we do on the show.
No.
So we have what's called the Mount
They're with me.
Rushmore, right? Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Shut the fuck up. So we do what's called the Mount Rushmore. So we want to know, everybody's got their inspirations and what made them, become who they are musically. And, what's their inspiration for music that they listen to, but we don't. And the rules get muddy after every episode
change
because they
each
change.
time.
But so it's your top 4. Right, so it's the 4 heads on the Mount Rushmore. So who's your top 4?
Band
And you can
or
either,
musician?
it could be like, look, I love AC/DC, like Robert here, or it could be the one person out of that band that they stand out to me. So,
Go fuck.
but what's your guys' top 4?
Well, for me, what got me into playing guitar is System of a Down.
Yeah.
Right. But Darren Malinkin's Scars on Broadway, fucking phenomenal.
Was that his solo?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
If you have
I
not-
started listening to it. It's actually
so
good. Yeah, it's really good.
It is like again, she was talking about it.
Yeah.
So I love System of a Down because they definitely got me going, but I almost have to attribute it all to Darren Malinkin.
Yeah.
Because if he's pulling the Scars on Broadway stuff off, it is amazing. The Scars on Broadway stuff. So, System of a Down, Darren Malinkin, that's like my top guy, top band.
He
After
has
that-
ties with Lars too, by the way. I just
Does he really?
remembered. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's his wife.
oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were fucking-
And then I think after that is 9 Inch Nails. Because Trent Reznor
Trent.
literally
Trent's a
spoke.
fucking
Like when
genius.
before I got married, I was a very sad boy myself, right? And fucking, he spoke to me. Like I at times I was like, this motherfucker's reading. Like, well, he wrote this shit before I was like even walking around, but still, it feels like he's reading my life right now. I love all of his stuff from the Broken album to even his newer stuff. Maybe not his newest
I was
stuff.
like,
but
did you hear the stuff he was in before he started 9 Inch Nails?
Oh my God.
I've heard about this stuff. But
Yeah.
I have not actually listened to it.
Dive into it.
Actually
It's
pretty
interesting.
good.
Yeah.
There's a video.
It's totally different.
Yeah,
not
it's totally
fucking
different.
9 Inch
It's
Nails.
super
No, yeah.
like 80s pop.
It's 80s.
Right.
He was the guy
pop,
on the
like,
keys,
Right.
who was in
keys.
all black while everybody else is
Yeah.
in like these,
Right, 'cause I heard that-
bright color like
Yeah.
suits and shit.
Yeah.
They're
It's like, I don't fit in here.
Right, like I heard that after Head Like a Hole, when they signed 9 Inch Nails, they were trying to get him to be like a MTGM
Yep.
or something like that,
Yeah.
and so he came out with Broken and was like, "Fuck you guys."
Yep.
Right, so that's number 2 for sure, and that's probably like close to tie. I would say System's number 1 because they got me to pick up the guitar, and then 3rd and 4th, I don't know. That's really hard. Probably Trivium because that's I think when I actually got into metal. Like
Interesting.
because it was System of a Down and then
Which album?
Pull the Heartstrings to My Martyr or
Oh,
something like
so
that?
Ascendancy.
Yeah, Ascendancy, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah, that when I heard Pull the Heartstrings, that's when I was like, oh shit, this is really good. Right.
That'll make sure.
Right. See that
song,
that
yeah.
got me into like going more into metal because prior to that, I literally would just learn all of the System of a Down songs. I got made fun of in high school. My senior yearbook picture is a white background with a System of a Down jersey, and I have the Iceman. And I literally just fucking did that
Yeah.
Toxicity music video. It's like I was obsessed with them, right? Yeah. So I got made fun of it because I was pretty obsessed. And then So Trivium got me into metal, and then All Shall Perish after that.
Ooh, yeah.
Really
Yeah,
pumped
that's a
up.
great
Yeah.
band.
Then after that, once I heard All Shall Perish, I was like, oh shit. And then I found Black Dahlia. So I think
Oh yeah.
it'd be Trivium and All Shall Perish is my third and fourth, and they helped me build into everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think I'd be listening to the same, or I'd be in different places listening to different things if I had not started with those four bands.
Right. No.
Right. I don't know about him.
What about you, Dizzle?
Oh, damn.
I know,
So
right?
many-
You had time too. Like,
I was thinking the whole time.
yeah.
Let's see. I guess starting from the beginning would be. I gotta throw like Linkin Park out there because they were like the bridge in between like rap
Yeah,
and like heavier music.
I agree 100% for me too.
So like definitely like them. They like pretty much started me off on the journey of like heavier music. And then probably I'll also have to say Earth, Wind and Fire.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
That was my first concert.
Really?
Yeah. 95. Earth, Wind, and Fire. It was the fucking greatest show I've ever seen, dude.
I love what they do. Like super like funky.
Yeah.
Oh, I
but,
love
like,
the funky bass
melodies-
beats.
The-
Yeah.
Everything, dude. They had so many people up there. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I like their
Crazy.
melodicism, like vocally and instrumentally, super fucking inspirational. And then of course like Iron Maiden.
Okay.
Iron Maiden is definitely the one thing because I was into like anime and like video games, like back when I was like growing up. And so like I didn't know, but I think like subconsciously because they use like a lot of like metal and stuff within the soundtracks. Like they would use like these cool fucking like third harmonies and stuff. And then like I listened to Iron Maiden, I was like, oh fuck, this is like anime metal.
Right.
you know?
Okay.
It's so
That's a
sound-
crazy connection.
Yeah.
Crazy
You
connection,
know?
dude.
Yeah, I was like, that's so fucking cool. And then probably last but not least, the band that got me into like progressive, like heavier metal was Periphery.
Oh.
Periphery definitely was like this influence. Like
I
like
showed
he
it to
said
him.
earlier,
Yeah, dude.
Like he showed me it, and I was
Martel,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
like totally mind blown. And like fucking, I remember one time I was on mushrooms, and I listened to P2, which was their second album.
Yeah.
And I was like at home alone. I specifically got off of work early, and like I was like, I'm gonna take this fucking eighth of mushrooms when I get home.
God damn.
And I
So, like,
fucking-
still easing into that.
We
got a
we're
mindset,
past
though,
microdosing,
like, yeah.
motherfucker.
I had like the best trip I ever had, and I fucking turned on P2, and I just like went on this journey, and I was like, oh my god, this is like the greatest music ever written.
It's good.
Yeah.
So like definitely,
Now the question is, have you listened to P2 without the shrooms?
yes.
And you still love it. All right, that's what counts.
It was
That's what counts.
I listened to it multiple times actually, because like when he told me about Periphery was when P2 had just got released, like maybe like a year or two
Yep.
before.
Oh, okay.
It was like I think like literally like 6 months before because we're sitting in the car in the cold in the winter somewhere, and I was like, bro, you gotta listen to this band. Like they just came out with a new album, and I showed him the first album first, and then I showed him bits and pieces of the second, and then he was like, bro, I'm all over this.
Yeah.
That and like Tesseract. I think I showed him
Totally
Tesseract.
Great.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
I
Changed
watched
my-
it with Gortier at
Yeah.
Warfield, dude. Tesseract's badass.
Right.
It changed my whole perspective of like, because before like progressive music to me was like Dream Theater,
Oh,
right.
yeah,
like,
okay.
Mike Portnoy.
Yeah.
fucking
Opeth.
Opeth.
Pink
Opeth is
Floyd.
another
Those-
really
yeah,
good one.
Opeth's great.
Tool is
Tool.
Right.
Tool like
Born of
was
Osiris.
one of the first bands that got me into like
Born of Osiris, right?
music with like off time signatures and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
But then like I listened to Periphery and it was like metalcore, but like also like progressive.
Right.
Unlike Kill Switch Engage, which was more like 4/4
Yeah, yeah,
style, which it's amazing, but like Periphery did it different, and that
Yeah, like Make Total Destroy on P2. That shit's so brutal. When fucking Spencer does the glistening, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
All right. Yeah.
oh,
You got
damn.
me.
Right.
they
That
have
was
the,
it.
they have the Bruce Dickinson style like vocals,
Right,
like
right.
how it's like super high. Yeah,
And not
that's
very
my
many
four.
bands do that.
Right. Yeah, that's part of the reason why like when I got into Vela Maya was in what was that album? Double Speak? I think it's the album. I don't know if the album's called Double Speak, but it's their newest one. But I love how he sings very beautifully, but it's all like super sad, dark
Yeah.
fucking stuff. I'm like, damn, he makes sad shit sound super happy and it's very beautiful. It's so good. And at the time too, I was really obsessed with the TV show Westworld.
Oh yeah,
And they did that cover on the album, and I was like, "This is so fucking good." Yeah, they have the song "Follow Me" on the newest album. It starts off not like a cover,
Yeah.
and then it does this breakdown bridge where the piano comes in, and then the guitars kick in. I was like, "Oh shit, this is a Westworld cover! That was so good!" And I was literally, I was like, "I gotta cover this I gotta cover this piano song." And then I heard that, and I was like, "Motherfuckers!" I was like, "Damn it, they did it way better than I thought I was gonna do too."
Yeah. Is there a song in your that you guys have heard before that you're like, I wish I had written that?
That cover,
That one right there?
Because I literally got obsessed with Westworld, because the Westworld, the second season is almost like how I felt like spiritually in LA, the revolution from the confines and all that stuff, and
Right.
that's how I felt like. I was like, wow, this is hitting that spot.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I want to do a cover.
G-spot.
Yeah, and then literally like 2 months after I was
Shit's
talking
hard to
about it, yeah, I found them, and I heard that cover, and then I was like, they should have fucking picked this cover for the song. Yeah, check the oil.
It's on the top.
It's like where you stick your gum under your desk. You know?
Right, just
It's up under there somewhere.
Yep. Yeah, so that's the one song that I've been like, fuck. I wish I would have heard of Villamile earlier and found out about Westworld earlier, but I don't think I would have done a better song, a better cover.
Really?
It was so good. Yeah.
No, Vela Maya, like definitely. I was going to mention them, but I had to like think of the things that started me off.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Villamile for me was older, so it was not a. I don't know if it's a top 4 for me. I mean, I love them now for sure, a lot, but I got to give love to the guys that started me off.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's cool because like over time, your taste will always change. You know, you're gonna find newer bands. You're gonna find bands that maybe you didn't hear of that were from, you know, decades ago that you're like, oh shit, how did I not know of this band? You know, and it's funny because like I think a lot of times when it comes to pretty much any genre for that matter is, you know, you'll hear something and you'll be like, oh, who is that? And you get those people that are like, how do you not know who this is? And it's like, because I've never heard of it. Like, exactly. It's like, what's wrong with saying like I don't know it? Like, introduce me. This is your chance.
Right. I got to give a shout out to this chick on Instagram called Sister Destroyer, Sister_Destroyer. She's this hot Russian chick who poses with vintage records of metal records, thrash records, and I have found the most like old school thrash. Like I found Running Wild from her. What was it? There's a whole bunch of other bands that I started listening to because of her. And every time she posts a new hot picture with an album, I'm like, I'm checking out that album. And she has the best underground metal. Yeah, best underground stuff. Yeah, she does it good. I'm like, I've told her, I'm like, make a calendar and I'll buy it. Yeah, because she's pretty hot and she has the best taste in metal. The best taste in metal.
Is it her taste or is it somebody else?
I don't know if anyone's
Hold
handing
this
her
one.
the. Yeah, I don't know if they're doing that, but
It's some really geeky metalhead behind the camera going, you're going to hold this one. She's like, okay. You're like, whoever it is, thank you.
Yeah, wearing a gimp mask.
yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, we want to thank you guys so much for being on here. It's been really fun. You guys kick ass. Is there anything you guys want to plug? Your channels?
our YouTube
Besides
channel.
the one you already did. Or plug it again. Fuck it.
My wife's nail salon called Nail Junkies.
Oh, Nail Junkies. Okay.
She does amazing work. My wife goes to her all the time.
Nice.
All you ladies who want to get your nails done really well,
Super
art,
professional.
whatever the heck you want, they do it.
Yeah.
He's all, I have bills to pay.
Guys too.
I'm going.
2022.
Yeah, baby.
And our YouTube page, Ghost Lives Matter, we have 3 music videos up there. who, if you guys haven't heard of us, check out Dreams. Dreams is my all-time favorite on the album. Is Dreams Melt Steel Beams. And then my wife has Hazeworks is what she goes. It's X, not K at the end, and that's where all of our artwork is. Like, she also doesn't just do paintings. She does macrame cribs, macrame chairs. She's doing a macrame shirt right now. Macrame hammocks, all sorts of other different stuff. So check her out if anyone wants anything done.
Also, SoundCloud, Dizzy Days.
All right.
You'll see all the future GLM stuff on there.
Nice.
Like, and I'm writing like new music. Like, I'm gonna be fucking putting down on there. So
Sweet. Hell yeah.
I think he has like 4 albums already written. Like, he doesn't stop. He doesn't stop.
Machine.
Yeah.
I'm here like with the new guys. Like, come on, guys.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You got chapter 1 to do.
The pace.
Y'all see what this is doing?
Because I got the lyrics down for the first song of the next album. It's amazing. It blows my mind.
Can't wait.
Can't wait to
Yeah,
hear
we
it.
can't wait.
I can't wait to play it. It's
yeah,
straight.
Right on.
next time, the next album we're gonna drop is gonna have way better production.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You guys already got it mapped out. Who you gonna get?
Not yet.
Everybody?
We're getting the drummer and the bassist up to speed for the old album,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna start going into the new stuff.
Yeah.
So right now we're just training them all, and
Awesome.
getting on the road as quick as we can.
Yeah.
Right
You guys gonna get a full tour going? Or
Uh,
just do like a
at
mini
some
tour,
point-
West Coast tour.
I think we're gonna do something like that at the beginning, like how you were saying, how we were talking about earlier about like us being too old and not having enough time.
Oh, right,
To
right, right.
me, this is like,
The time.
well, like a guys club, a vacation. We get together
Right.
once, every so often and plan a 2-week vacation to go do something.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
how
gonna
we
be
that's
tour.
what we plan it, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
only way I could get away with it is if I tell her it's about music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell my old lady.
It's my dream. Do you not want me to live my dream?
Yeah. Get the band back together. Yeah.
Well, again,
Hugs.
thank you guys so much for being on here.
Yes, thank you.
So we'll have to have you on here when you guys get that stuff out and record
Absolutely.
it. That'd
Yeah.
be great. But otherwise, thank you guys for being here. Thank you to everybody who's watched. We will see you next time on our next episode of the Dark Figures podcast. And again, if you haven't yet, hit that like, subscribe, and follow button and that notification bell so you can see when we put out new content. Until then,
have a brutal night.
have a brutal night.
Night.